Shannon Drayer back here at Safeco Field after what was a very long and tough road trip. Tough September schedule, no doubt about it. I think we're going to be seeing something similar next year, where the team only has one day off in the entire month of September. It'll be a little bit different. They'll be finishing up against the division, which I prefer. I think I want to see as many division games as I can, both early and late in the season. We're going to see that next year. Now this year, running into contenders, it was a tough thing to watch, and I don't know how much you could expect out of them. Obviously, you expect wins. You want to see this team win, but when you look on paper what the Mariners were bringing against contenders, it was two totally different things. These were young players, not a lot of experience, a bullpen that basically, for the better part, was a AAA bullpen going up against contenders in September, and it was tough to watch at times, but they got through it. Eric Wedge is hopeful that this becomes a part of their baseball DNA, that these struggles make them tougher. And then they're also the fact that they were able to see the pitching that they saw. And I think that this is the most real thing, because a baseball player's memory is one of the most incredible things I've seen. They remember everything. Hitters remember everything about a pitcher. Pitchers remember everything about what they've thrown and their hitter. You only need to see them a couple of times to have it in the memory bank and to be able to use that. And the Mariners saw some very, very good pitching on this road trip, and hopefully that's something that the hitters are able to take into the offseason, remember, and kind of start out ahead of the game next year when they face similar pitching. So again, tough road trip, good to be home, lots of miles, over 56,000 miles this year, and needless to say, that's the most in baseball. I believe we're going to be looking at more next year, but that's just part of the deal of being with the Mariners. A little bit of news or something that I'd like to clear up, something that we've seen quite a bit. Of course, we learned on the trip that Mr. Yamauchi, the team owner, passed away last Thursday. And there were a lot of questions about, well, what happens to the team then? I think a lot of those questions were answered by an interview that was gained by a writer from the Puget Sound Business Journal. And she actually caught up with Howard Lincoln, and he said that Nintendo does not plan on selling their shares. The ownership really should not change, and it's only common sense. This is a huge multi-million-dollar operation. The guy at the top is going to have a plan for this kind of thing, and to that end he actually transferred his shares to a trust with Nintendo of America in 2004. So yeah, it's terrible to see his passing. We owe him a great debt of gratitude for saving baseball in Seattle. I'm in Seattle because there is baseball. I chose the city to come to for my college because I wanted to go to school in a town where I could hop on a bus and go to a ball game. And I'm not sure I'd still be here if there wasn't a baseball team here. It's that much a part of my life. I know it's that much a part of a lot of your lives. And this is the person who saved baseball for Seattle. And we'll go from there and we'll see what happens from there. But for the time being, it would appear there are no plans for the ownership group to change. We'll have to wait and see. We'll find out what the plans are, because Yamauchi was active in that everything crossed his desk, from what I understand. Who's the top right now? We'll find out more about that, I would imagine, in the coming weeks. But again, in that interview, Howard Lincoln said that Nintendo is not planning on selling their shares of the Seattle Mariners. So I don't think we'll be looking at any dramatic changes in the near future. As for tonight's game, we have a lineup. This is what we've got. Brad Miller is back after a few days out with a hamstring. He's followed by Almonte, Seager, Morales, Ibanez, Smoke, Zanino, Ackley, and Franklin. One little piece of news. Eric Wedge said that Joe Saunders most likely has made his last start of the year. He's got some different plans for the pitching coming up this weekend. Didn't say what they were specifically, but Joe Saunders most likely will not be pitching again this year for the Mariners. For all the latest news and breaking news, stay tuned to 710 ESPN Seattle. Follow me on Twitter at Shannon Drayer, and of course on the blog at 710sports.com.